You think the Welsh can't do better than that, Owen?
Well, they've got a very good base section, mine. But no top tenors, that's for sure.
Welcome back to another exciting episode of Making It and Faking It, brought to you by Action Fan. You might have seen in one of the other episodes, we took a Grenadier Guard uniform and added our own webbing to it. It's not exactly correct. And I went ahead and made my Martini Henry Mark II, which I really enjoyed making. Also, we've got the Piff helmets made by Coxie. If you want one of them, look him up on Facebook or eBay. As you can see, I'm just working on the webbing. The webbing went a bit discoloured, so I'm painting that, and I'm building this guy some new webbing. And the picture, I built my first holster. This one, I've made it all so everything's detachable, lifts off, clips on the back, and you can clip them on. So there, I need a button to keep that down. Something I've got to work on. Now I'm tucking it in, like that. And this guy is really loose. It needs to be restrung, this guy. It's not just the restringing, it's actually joints as well. While I'm doing this Making It and Faking It video, I just want to give a big shout out to Stu Glenn, who sent me some fantastic things in the post. It actually works well because I'm working on the 24 foot. So this is what Stu sent me. And look at that. How fantastic is that? Some of you have seen that on my Facebook group in my Zulu corner, so it's not a surprise to some of you. But along with that, Stu also sent me loads of bits here. Now, he sent me some Action Man trousers, and he sent me what I believe is a dragon jacket. And look at that. Now look at the lining on that. That's made with such high quality. So much here, it's hard for me to show you guys, but he sent me some guns that I can make up. So this is an MG42, like a little model kit. He sent me the badges to the Para. I think these are Dragon. He also sent me the rank insignia. I think they're US. You guys can let me know. Loads of stuff. This fantastic hat for I think like the 90s British infantry. Forget what they're called. Action Man boots, gas mask, Dragon pouches. Something that I really needed was the Escape Officer briefcase, which has got the Luger and the brown shoulder stock. Thank you very much, Stu. Really appreciate it. There's loads of bits and pieces in here. I'm going to play about with when I'm kit bashing. We've got webbing. We've got a Nazi belt. Loads of bits and pieces. I've been sent quite a few presents lately, and I'm a bit behind with the videos, but please bear with me. I will thank you all individually. Give you one more last look at that. Awesome. But I've come to a bit of a standstill because I'm building some new webbing for this guy out of this stuff. Sort of faux leather. These are just samples, but I've got big sheets of it. But I actually prefer the elastic band ones. I like the thickness. These have to be redone because they're made out of elastic bands and they're not the best. So I know I need to remake them. Everything's made so it clips on and off. Like that. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a vinyl one like this guy at the back. I'm just in the middle. That's not connected because I'm just making that. And then I'm going to choose what ones I prefer. And one guy's going to have this stuff because I remember looking at the film Zulu and one of the officers had a tan coloured webbing belt and holster. So I've got to sort of make up my mind who's going to be in charge. This guy looks like Michael Caine to me, so he probably shouldn't be wearing all that. So maybe I need another guy. I don't know. Bob Hoskins from Zulu Dawn. This is one of the guys out the hospital without his red coat on. Decisions. Now originally I made these pouches from elastic bands, and bands have dried up and they've gone a little bit misshapen. But I made them copying these. Right, so I'm thinking to myself, right, I'm going to make them out of some faux leather. This is very thin, maybe slightly too thin. Doesn't give me any rigidity. Then all of a sudden, I watched a Zulu film and I noticed that their pouches are like this. So I start making one. So I get to this point where I've made something similar. And that's just about when I realised you would struggle to get your ammo out of that, because it looks like it's clipped like a one big flap. So now I'm kind of stuck. This is the easier option. This, I use a flap like that, and I shape the piece in the middle, which happens to be an elastic band, to give it a bit more rigidity. So I'm end up with a pouch looking like that. And once again, like the story of my life, I am confused. I'm going to make one of each, and meanwhile I can work out what's more historically correct. I'm sure one of you guys can let me know, because you guys are a wealth of knowledge, so that would really help me and I can move forward. And now what's going to happen is, this guy reminded me of Bob Hoskins from Zulu Dawn, so I'm going to model him on that. He's a colour sergeant. I have less webbing and a red sash going across. But what I will say is I really want to make more webbing, and I might need a fourth guy. Now, if you look at this guy, he's supposed to be Michael Caine. Now, in the movie, because he's higher rank, he wouldn't be wearing all that webbing. He actually wears brown webbing and a brown holster. So at some point, he's got to be changed. So I think I'm going to add myself a fourth guy to my setup, so that I can put this webbing on the fourth guy, and he would be like a private, I guess, or a rifleman. I'm not sure. He's a sergeant and he would be an officer. Right, remember this guy from the Action Fan Diary? Right, if you've already seen it, as if I've published it. Now he's really, really bleached out. Let's get him down. Come on, mate, let's get you down off the shelf. Well, this ain't an off-the-shelf episode, but let's get him down. Now, I think this guy, the guy with a really brown bleached jumper, which incidentally is bleached everywhere, actually looks quite good colour all over. Can actually become a brown jumper. I'm going to go ahead and strip him down. Incidentally, I've got another Piff helmet and some gaiters, actually, from Coxie. You can find him on eBay as Stoke something or other. I'll put that up here if you want to buy any of these fantastic Piff helmets. I couldn't even try at the moment to create that myself. Maybe down the line I will, but for now, decent price, and they're fantastically made. So we've bought another one of them, and we're waiting for that to arrive in the post. But meanwhile, we're going to dress this guy in a Grenadier Guard outfit to become our 24 foot. Obviously, that's not the ideal uniform. Down the line, I want to try and create one. I had a little play around the other day, and once again, don't judge, because this was just a play around. But I tried to take the blue cuff off. Very difficult to take the lines and the bits and pieces there off. But I just had a play around just to have a look. We introduced some green to that one, but down the line I do aim to try and create this better, or find someone that's created it. But like always, I've got a million projects on the go. For now, that's going back on the back burner. Right, we've got another uniform here that we found. The lace-up boots, because they work best. Gator's coming, I believe, but he did say they were from Cotswold, so they look really cool. So I need to find out if I can get source some more of them. I made my own out of black elastic for now, and this one black tape. I do want to create them out of some faux leather. The thing I'm struggling with now, maybe you guys can help me, same with my holsters, is the small pins. Let's see if I can find one. See the small pins there? And I think someone did say you can use hairbrush teeth as such, but how to hold them in, I'm not sure. Does anyone know where you can buy something like this? I mean, I am thinking about just actually using a popper. But if anyone knows where you can buy these things, please let me know. This guy dressed up in the Grenadier Guards outfit. We're going to start from there. I've gone ahead, took his clothes off. Naughty. Going to get him dressed quickly. Right, there you go. He's going to need a pair of hands. We do have some to hand. He's going to be wearing this guy's webbing. There's our fourth guy for now. We're going to put his hands on. Before we go and exchange this webbing onto this guy, I think I'm going to do a smaller pouch like this. See if we can find another image of the pouch. That's the kind of pouch we're going to create. This seems to be what the majority of them look like, so I'm going to go with something like that. Right, so this is where I'm at. And unfortunately, this one on the right, the actual flap to the pocket is slightly crooked. I'm not happy with that, to be honest. I think the flap's too low and they're slightly lopsided. So I've got to work out a way of making a template to cut these things so that they're equal. But apart from that, I'm not far off. So I'm going to go ahead and probably make another one. I've trimmed this one up a bit and I've added some ends on it. I don't think that's dreadful on there. I've got to get this curve right. It's not right. And we also need a small piece that comes down from there like that. I'll show you in a photo. Into a bit of a V shape. Let's go ahead and do that. Because every time I do it, one's slightly different than the other. Once again, it's very difficult to get everything uniformed the same and straight every time. When you're trying to make duplicates, that is the problem. Right, there's the first attempt. So we're going to go ahead and try and do another one, try and make it straighter and do a bit more measuring so that it looks more precise. But for the first go, I don't think that's half bad. Okay, I've been looking for something round to create the pieces, so I've managed to find that. So we're going to cut them, and these are going to be small inserts here. And I'm going to try and perfect them before I make this. So I'm going to try and fold this flap over, get that glued in first, and then make the rest of the pouch afterwards. Right, so let's go ahead and cut that out. So I've gone ahead and I've tried to make a fourth pouch, and unfortunately, I've got to say I failed.
There's something else. I feel ashamed. I'm
not good at minute perfectionist things, and I just can't get it right. I've tried my hardest, but let's have a look anyway. What it is, it's hard to make one side look exactly like the other side. Right, so I've been trying to make these pouches, and I've had several attempts here. These are the original elastic band ones. Yeah, I get it. They look a bit rough now. They've all shrunk and the rubber bands dried out and gone a bit funky. These are the ones I've made. Now, the big problem I'm finding is scale and recreating exactly the same shape every time and slightly different size. I'm not very good at detail work. It works out, so I'm a little bit disappointed at myself. But these are the ones that I'm left with at the moment. These aren't too bad. One is slightly bigger than the other, unfortunately.
I feel ashamed.
I'll continue trying to produce these and make it a better version each time. Now, there you go. That's where I'm at so far. I need at least 4 of those. And so far I've got 2. And I'm not happy with the size of that one. So I'm going to remake 3 maybe. This is the size I want. I have to come up with a system of measuring them. The problem I've got is they're rounded. Not so easy to measure as straight things. Everything's rounded. So I've got to make a template and stick with that template. This stuff isn't that easy to cut, actually.
I feel ashamed.
Try cutting it with a knife and it stretches. Scissors aren't that accurate. There you go. So right, the next thing is we're going to move on to this guy. And we're going to make his brown. Sam Brown. Now, I did think about buying one. But it's a little bit more complex than that. I would need 2 of them because I need the 2 straps rather than the one. On the Sam Brown, you just have the 1 strap. And make my own, and let's see if we can do something similar to that. Right, okay, so that's next to do. Right, so that's it for this video. I'll have to go back to the drawing board. Once again, big shout out to Stu Glenn. Thanks for my great piff helmet and all my other fantastic bits. See you in the next exciting video.
You fought your first action.
Does everyone feel like this afterwards?
How do you feel?
Sick.
Well, you have to be alive to feel sick.
There's something else. I feel ashamed.